Just March's Bristle.
Okay. You know, and I was doing some research about these teams back in that day. It was Jarek's playing on Hot 6, and I think that he was housemates with Foreb at the time too. So
They all
long lost teammates.
they all lived in this like tiny apartment together.
Yeah.
Like all you have to do is play Dota.
That sounds like the dream. Well, from a tiny apartment now and I think that he was housemates with Foreb at the time too. So
They all
long lost teammates.
they all lived in this like tiny apartment together.
Yeah.
Like all you have to do is play Dota.
That sounds like the dream. Well, to a big old hotel,
From a
tiny
Seattle.
apartment now. It's time to see if they're going to be able to take game number 1. OG versus DC, 4th match here on the B stream. And do you have a draft that you're particularly favoring? You felt like you really liked that Sand King last pick. Is the Bristle the perfect answer for it, or how do you see this game playing out?
I will say, okay, I want to hear your opinion first. Who do you
Okay.
think, just bare bones without any analysis, who do you say wins draft-wise?
I would say that DC wins draft-wise.
I think so too, because
Okay.
I feel like the Silencer is one of the most annoying heroes that play. Like if you're imagining Quill Spam, you just get cursed. People don't realize it, but curse is... Oh, that spell's brutal. Actually, everyone realizes it now. Arcane Curse is insane. Like that spell is by far one of the most annoying to play against. It just feels like it's on you forever. But at the same time, I think I do like DC's draft a lot. I feel like they have really comfortable ways to take team fights. They have good late game. They have ways to lane shove. Like everything on paper looks good, but you always have to take into account that you think that OG might be a better team, right?
Mhm.
So maybe they can overcome these deficits in the draft.
I really like this too. This ward placed down, he was able to just get it in time, the Sand King, before the Bristleback walked up the hill. So he'll be able to have vision of the stacks. And they've committed both of their wards, actually, to making sure that they know what S4 is doing at all times.
Yeah.
Well,
30 seconds
That is
to
a
battle.
that is a heavy commitment though. I figured they would have placed down a ward mid, but I guess they feel comfortable that Jarex can't really mess with a Queen of Pain. Like it's a Queen of Pain, right? Abed can always just blink away. There shouldn't be a way that he really dies to any sort of rotation. Because the only way that he dies is if CK makes the rotation over. Which, by the way, No Tail, out of all carries in Dota, is more than willing to do. Like this guy will grab level 5, smoke up with the rest of his team, kill mid, take that tower.
on a quick little bullion move here by Mason himself is going to force Ana back, and that will mean no bounty rune for him.
That's how you get 3.
Hey. Do it.
Dude, look at that DC immediate gold lead. They take a demanding lead, a commanding lead off the start.
I'd say insurmountable.
Yeah, 300 net worth at 20 seconds into the game. Just think about that. It's exponential.
Yeah, if you have exponential growth, it's going to be 30,000 by 10 minutes. It's over. Well,
What was the point?
I don't know. A couple little things here. The Invoker versus Queen of Pain matchup. I feel like we've seen it so many times throughout this patch and past ones as well. Anything really new evolve with this matchup here?
No, it's going to be really annoying for her Invoker in the beginning. Obviously, the later the game goes, Invoker is just one of those heroes that will shine. That's just the nature of the hero, but pre-Aghanims is going to be the time period where Queen of Pain is just going to fight lane-wise, one-on-one, straight up one-on-one. It should be very easy for Abed to bully this Invoker, which he's doing so far.
Well, bottom lane, actually. They've already found it. Bulba will save the day, though, as Jerax get stunned by him and take some tower shots on the way out. But that was setting up to be a really nice play. And, oh, Bulba, maybe getting a little bit too big for his britches now, is going to end up dropping. Well, unless he gets a triple burrow strike, can he actually make his way out of here, though? It seems like it could be quite tough. He will not have another one.
He's got boots. He's got boots.
Run away, little man. Run away, Sunstrike. Oh, no. First blood.
Bulba
picks it up.
Everything was going so well. If he doesn't make that play, I'm not even kidding. Like, they survive. Look at top. S4, he had to pop his salve. He was getting quite low up there, too. He doesn't like that lane. This bottom lane, Forever was getting the wave shoved into him. This Queen of Pain was doing so... I mean, in CS alone, it's 6-2 against 9-4. If Ana doesn't get that kill, Abed can snowball this lane. With that first blood, it's going to have repercussions.
Yeah, and we saw up there as well, Bristleback just getting level 2 as they decided to go on him, and that, I'm sure, kept him alive. Left only 100 HP after the fact, with his back turned the whole time.
But you're still level 2 Bristle with no stacks.
Yeah.
Like this, ideally, let's not overthink this. This is still fine. Let's calm down.
Okay.
Everything is okay.
We're
DC
here.
is still in a perfectly fine position. Somehow, they've triple stacked. This is like a quad stack. If they clear this up, this is going to be really good for them, as Fly should be blasting this pretty soon, and you need to ideally do this with like 7, I think. 7 or 8 when you start it. This is just going to leave a lot of creeps behind.
Really unlucky the double Centaur too. They had those like 3 or 4 instances of Cloak Aura on him, just giving so much magic resist against that Bat Rider too.
Yeah. And they're going to shove the wave out, Fly, which is what he should do. He can even pull it to the side after, which is what I imagined was going to happen, but not actually going to do so quite yet. But you're going to get double range creep, and Forever's just going to get a lot of experience here. I feel like Fly, I thought he was going to shove, but they're going to stun, harass Forever out a little bit, and this next wave he's going to pull it in. So gets delayed by a little bit, doesn't really change too much though.
Meanwhile, mid, Jarek's sticking around as well. They're not going to be able to find a kill onto Forever, like you mentioned, and so that left him free to force a blink out from Quap. The Bet has to play a little bit safe for the moment. And of course, it's going to be Bulba still sticking around here. It's that level in Sandstorm, so no extra pressure with the Caustic, but I guess he's going to soak up some of this experience as well. They've been able to pull off one of those range creeps as we miss a kill up top. S4 goes down. Pick up by Mason.
Yeah. Very good kill by him. As, again, this is just going to be a really rough lane for this Bristleback. Like, this is not meant to be the easiest time. So, laning advantage so far, I would say goes in favor of DC, just by like a slight margin. It could have been even better though. I'm not going to harp on it too much though. That first blood, things happen.
Right.
As Ana going to get right-clicked. This is a DD Queen of Pain. You want to be careful, but...
Gets her to blink away.
Yeah.
Alright, well, the Bet has to play a little back bit for the moment. Looks like S4 is going to retreat to the jungle. Do you think this is something where it's worth sending a support over to soak experience since you have vision, or just keep the lane under control?
I think you just keep the lane under control for now. Okay. He's going to stack, Dubu's going to stack on like crazy. So just keep the lane where it is, let Dubu get some XP too. At some point what will happen is Dubu will stack this probably one more time, and then when Mason gets his 6, they'll just swap out. And Dubu will get the lane XP and Mason will just farm the jungle camp. And that's how they snowball. Okay. That's exactly what they did in the NA quals, and I don't think things changed too hard. And that is exactly what he does. He stacks again, these creeps will die. Because if you just shove the wave in, S4 doesn't necessarily have to be there. You could always just send a support, right?
Yeah.
You could send Fly, he TP's in, just blast the wave back.
I really like this. I mean, you see the stack there going on. You're also seeing right now that Bulba with the Sandstorm has been able to take out a double stack on the hard camp. They're getting a lot out of the map right now, DC, and
they are. It
doesn't really feel like there's a great way for OG to do much to contest this.
Yeah, OG's not getting that much out of this lane right now. Like they, this bottom wave, they're splitting XP between 3 heroes. Doesn't feel that good. And meanwhile at mid, I mean, after this first blood, it's had a fine game. Jarex has even sacrificed a little bit of his game by going there, if you noticed in the beginning. So this Queen of Pain getting bullied quite hard. What should be a winning matchup for one side, in fact is not. As Bulba gonna make the rotation around, he's level 3. He does have this level 2 stun, but I mean you don't really dive a Raindrops, Wand, Invoker.
Yeah. And now it's just a regen up top too, so that'll allow them to, you know, continue to establish a bit more dominance in this lane, I'm sure, after spamming out the spells. Forev, in the meantime, went over to contest the stack. Yet again, it looked like he was able to pick up a few of those big
look at
creeps.
Mason.
Are they actually going to pull back in, though? They're thinking about diving here on the Batrider. A whole heck of a lot of damage. They stun him up as well. Sunstrike coming through. Forev actually heads up towards the north, but still will end up dying. And yeah, as you mentioned, Mason doing the stack.
I mean, that's still a level 4 Batrider. He's fine. He forced 3 heroes there, and meanwhile, if you look at Bulba mid, they're going to make this rotation on Ana. It doesn't look like they're going to get the kill, as Dubu instead is going to go down, and we talked about No-Tail. If there's any carry that's going to rotate when he's level 5 out of his safe lane to make something happen.
Look at this guy. No-Tail's crazy. He's just like, yeah, I'll come mid. Why not? We'll find a kill.
It's all good.
Well, Abed thinking about going in for that.
Queued that up, but you would die.
Yeah. Well, that's just going to be the Shrine used, getting a little bit of extra value out of that. Still a stun over here on Bristleback. The rotation in from Jarex probably keeps him off. I don't know if they could have killed the Bristle either, but maybe make his life a little bit more scary. But 7.5 minutes in, 3-1, with a little bit of a lead for DC. Do you think that they're liking where they're at in the game? Is there anything they need to be worried about?
No, I think they're very comfortable at this pace right now. Because you know that no matter how much farm Invoker gets, it's empty net worth. In the sense that this hero has always been farm. Like, when you think about the hero, the problem is you think about all the cool combinations he does. But if you think about it, he only does that once he has like 3 items, right? He has Midas, Boots of Travel, Aghanim Scepter. Right. But pre-Aghanim Scepter, this hero doesn't fight. You create space for him, and he just pushes the map in and farms. So for DC, as long as they're not losing anything horribly, they're not getting picked off, I think they're okay with the pace of the game. Because they can press it once this Batrider gets blinked really fast.
Yeah.
And OG, they're going to be in quite a pickle trying to fight that out, which is why I liked DC's lineup better.
Well, and we've just been seeing this massive acceleration of farm from Mason, who has 77 last hits at 8 minutes in, and it's not looking like he's going to stop anytime soon, just moving into the jungle, and like you said, giving Dubu over the lane. This is, I mean, like, do you just keep on building up your advantage in farm? Do you think that it's worth it going for like a Blink Dagger afterwards for Mason after Mask of Madness?
Yeah, I think Blink's perfectly fine here. It's a very justifiable build, because you want to push the pace. As Dubu up at top, he's going to get dove. That's 5 stacks.
Oh, but he isn't going to be able to get it off that last time. Oh, end up time, Dubu!
There's a Sunstrike.
Oh, be careful, buddy. He's going to TP back home. But
and it's not going to shoot it out. Any Dubus in here? Just one. Oh, that scared me, Gabe. There's going to be a 3-man rotation up here as No-Tail going to lead the way. They've got Sunstrike too.
Oh my god, it's so much damage. Mason throws out the stun, needs to get out, but not going to happen. S4 able to take him down, and now highest net worth hero gets brought down. That's a big one.
Yeah, that is No-Tail in a nutshell. He TPs in mid to save his mid, then he goes and ganks, even though there's an empty lane at top. One of the most proactive carries that you're going to see by far. This guy creates so much space for his team.
I think, you know, I was remembering back to even when they were doing, you know, all the Radiance Illusion pushing heroes, and people would always say that they played it different than others because he would, like, you know, go into a fight with an Auk or a Naga to make sure that the team was able to buy space for the rest of them, and doing the same type of thing here, going for the treads early on, and now back for the armlet. No need for Midas.
Yeah, he's just like, I need a fight. Let me help my team. We're going to win lanes. There's no other way that you can reasonably bring down that hero anyways, as Bulba.
More help for Ana. Finds himself a Sunstrike. Jarex is feeling it. They're having
just
a good old time.
God.
You gotta love the chat wheel. It's too good.
It's the best. I mean, they're probably... It's gotta be because it's Bulba that they got that excited. And the lead finally swings in favor of OG. I mean, it almost was going 1k in the favor of DC, which isn't insurmountable, but still. It's one of those things where, you know, you felt pretty comfortable. Now the CK is just becoming a terror. He's killing everyone on the map.
You gotta love the chat wheel. It's too good.
It's the best. No-Tail gets to do his No-Tail play style with this hero. It's gotta be because it's Bulba.
The 4 points in Reality Rift, -7 armor, particularly against, I mean, Sven, who has the high armor, but just even for pickoffs, it just transforms all those other heroes into damage dealers. But Mid lane, Abed's come back in with Dubu. Looks like they want to put the kibosh on this. Jarex is still hanging out in the area. And it hasn't really been a whole lot of concerted efforts towards taking down objectives yet. Do you think that changes sometime soon?
No. I think both teams, honestly, especially DC, like, they're not really going to go 5-man for tower or anything like that. They have very split-heavy of a lineup. So there's no real concern for them. Because they're going to win, or they think anyways, that they're going to be able to win the team fights, right? And once you win the team fights, you can take those towers anyways. The tower that they have to protect is this mid one. If they protect this mid tower, then I just understood his name.
Mid one. Oh, Blitz. It's amazing. Uh-oh. Dubu. He's in the mid. He's going potentially down here. Not a whole hell of a lot that they can do to stop that.
We talked about it. This mid tower is the one that they have to protect. They're not going to be able to do it.
Well, Mason at least is hanging out here. Leading to the side, but feels like it's quite tough to actually get there in time. Sand King is rotating as well.
Yeah. You see, this is the tower that they're like all out defending for.
Oh, good play. Reality Rifting to get away from Mason on the Sven. They drop the
There's
global
the
as well.
global.
Sonic Wave out, trying to find if they see if they can catch No Tail, and with the right clicks coming in, it should
he
be
gets
the
denied.
But denied coming from Ana. He might end up paying for that one as they do have dust on him. Burrow Strike is going to come through. Boba finds him. A pretty good Illuminate.
Oh,
and now
S4
S4
comes in
here as
too.
well. They're all running in, but are they just running to their death? S4 up on the high ground, trying to bring him
He's
low.
getting
In
low.
fact, it's going to happen. OG lose 3. And my God, that was a hell of a defense.
That Arcane Curse, and we talked about it. You can give up that top tower, Gabe. You can give up that bottom tower, but that mid tower, if there's anything you know about North American Dota, any good team, they're not going to give up that mid, because if you give up that mid tower, it opens up the entirety of the map. You no longer have to play these really weird smokes. You can just go up through mid every single time. You can cut across. Your jungle no longer becomes safe because you lose access to that entire north-left side. So it's essentially conceding map control. You're saying to yourself, we'll play from this really horrible disadvantage for nearly no reason.
Oh, I'm certainly not wanting that to happen. Granted, the tower is now only at 63 HP.
They're thinking about it. They're like, do we deny this? Because again, it matters so much. It provides vision as well.
Yeah, and the nice part also about having these heroes is they can just run in here in a second, and it looks like Dubu is going to go for the deny. Will
He feels it now.
be able to get it, and
Gets the blink out though.
nice play there by No Tail and Jarex. Tried to get the Reality Rift into stun, but didn't quite work.
Did I just say north left? Like, why didn't you correct me?
North left is a thing, sure. I'm not about calling you out.
Yeah, but why could I just say upper left?
Or northwest.
there was a lot of ways that could have gone better, Gabe. 2 North American casters.
Yeah. NA geography. Lol.
NA with direction slash. It was both.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Movement in right now, though. Boba is not quite in position for the stun. The rest of them a little bit farther behind, but they will find Ana. Burrow Strike.
Oh, they're gonna grab this
through.
Invoker.
Sonic Wave is a hell of a lot of damage, and Mason comes back in for the swipes.
Oh, they're just getting chunked in this fight.
Can they kill him off a second time now? S4 had the Aegis, but now going to already have it down. He's doing a hell of a lot of damage. Double kill for Mason. DC have been striking back with a vengeance.
Yeah. And it does not matter that you have this Aegis, especially if you're going to get wiped like that. This is what I was talking about. I felt like just the raw teamfight ability. This is what this Batrider plus Silencer gives you. Is even though he didn't get global off, this Batrider's grip, it's always going to win you teamfights. And the ability to kite with Arcane Curse and Sticky Napalm is fantastic. It's so hard for OG to take these engagements. And now OG, they're going to lose their mid tower themselves. So the tower advantage evens out, which should favor DC in this sense because they can shove in waves with their core heroes. Dubu going to make his way up at top, and even without that global, I mean, Mason, you called it, he goes for the blink first. He's got tons of utility. He's very strong right now, highest net worth in the game. This Invoker still can't fight.
Yeah. He is only 700 gold away from that Aghanim Scepter, and picked up that health talent. We'll see if it will save him from this little rotation as they have the dust, they have the jump, they have the Burrow Strike.
Oh,
Ana
this
in
is a huge
trouble,
kill.
and again taken down. Right now 2, 3, and 2. Dangerously close to a meme.
I mean, he was in really good position to get such a fast Aghanim Scepter Midas. He was going to get like a 14-minute Aghanim Scepter Midas, and kills like this, definitely going to slow things down. 800 gold away now. if he just shoves out that bottom lane, sure, but that was a very good aggressive move by DC. Is, you know, their lineup's still paying dividends as now Forev is going to shove out this bottom lane, and they're still doing this all minus the Blink Dagger on the Bat Rider, mind you.
Yeah.
And the Bat Rider, or the Sand King Blink Dagger. Once you have those two, on top of the Sven jump, you're just going to have so much team fight.
It really feels like that's the glory of the Sand King pick.
Oh,
4 points in Burrow Strike is, yeah, they found Dubu. I mean, that one that'll happen. But, you know, you have your Tranquil Boots moving at 405 movement speed, 4 points in Burrow Strike, long range initiation. You can just get so much done.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening here. They're just running around the map killing things, and so far it's been successful. It's Forev. He's waiting here again. They're very patient, but this time nobody from OG is going to fall for it, as they should just let the shove out naturally. They can send out Forged Spirits at bottom if they want, but they've got to be a little bit more careful and protect Ana. Like, you are not going to be able to just farm this Aghanim Scepter for free. People will punish you right now. So the best thing to do is kind of huddle around, which will slow down the rest of your team's farm, but at the same time, it is very key that you get Aghanim Scepter on this Invoker. Otherwise, he's a 3-spell Invoker.
Right. Well, and likewise now, if OG do start to play that more clustered together lineup where you don't let him go too far out and make sure that you protect him, what's the DC answer? Because it feels like they can't find those pickoffs as much.
Yeah, right now for DC, I'm not sure. DC, just wait for Blink Daggers.
Okay.
Like, everything is still fine. Your Blink Daggers are still coming online at a very reasonable time. There's nothing to really, there's nothing to rush in any case. Because as soon as this Bat Rider jumps in, he's going to be able to kill one core. Like, even if it's the Bristleback. Like, Sticky Napalm plus the Firefly, you just walk in front of him. It's incredibly annoying for Bristle to play against.
Okay. Well, I like that. Now they do have that Axe done. He had a Yule Scepter queued up, but now it looks like it's going to be a Lincoln Sphere. Meanwhile, on the side of a bed, he ended up going back for the Veil. So, now that you have the Aghanims, does that feel like you're maybe in a little bit of a better position to take fights, or you still want to try and wait for those next couple items? Maybe a bit too scary?
You can set up for a little bit more, but you don't rush things.
Okay.
As up at top, Mason gonna get gone on.
Well,
Gets jumped.
Wearing off a good bit of damage. Sunstrike coming through as well. Gonna connect onto him, and with the Illuminate, all the damage in the world, they take down Big Bad Sven. Dubu, yeah. He gets out.
That was pretty close. He almost cleaved his way to kill Fly as well. That's gonna be a massive death. That was a Sven that was well on his way to such a ridiculous game, but now things get slowed down, and DC... They're playing... That was a little bit too... Because you've got 3 cores forming in different areas of the map. They're all showing. OG, of course, is going to make some kind of move. They have to. Otherwise, you're just watching 3 cores farm independently. They thought that the Sven global would be enough. You know, you just TP out, but OG... I think he still should have gone for that, right?
I'm not sure.
Why is he... I'm trying to consider why he was worried about that.
Bottom lane, I'll let you pontificate a little bit further. It's a quick kill on S4 yet again. By the way, simultaneous Blink Daggers picked up right there for both the Slardar and the Bat Rider.
Yeah.
And now because of that, OG want to try and take this fight without their Bristleback. But DC already away.
Yeah, they're going to get out of this just fine. Nobody greedy. That's such a disciplined play, by the way. Do you notice they leave one creep behind? Oftentimes, like, people stay behind and they'll farm that, but just because you're greedy, that's just human nature. You see that creep, you're going to want to farm it. At the same time, DC, a little bit more disciplined. They're thinking to themselves, guys, something's really off. Nobody showing on the map. This mid wave is kind of shoving in this top wave. Nothing's really happening. Like, why is nobody showing on the map right now? What I would like to see DC do anyways is they're going to have this Bat Rider ulti up again pretty soon. I'd like to see them make a play with smoke. They've got a Blink Dagger up on their Sand King as well. They've got Global Silence coming up in 20 seconds. Like, all their cooldowns are going to line up really nicely. And so this is exactly when you want to smoke, right before they're about to be up.
Oh my god, you're calling it.
So you make a rotation probably into their jungle, and you just scout upwards through that ancient area.
It's like that is indeed like a call. You're an oracle here. What are you doing? It's almost like you're, you know, a coach at some point or something. My god.
But they're kind of hemming and hawing right now.
Okay.
I still feel like this is the play for them to make. Shove in this mid wave, it's your best chance, but instead they're going to make the call and say top wave is shoving in a little bit too hard. And Dubu's going to say they're probably in our top area, but at the same time, like, I feel like there was like a really small window for some kind of play to be made right there, and they didn't really go for it. You notice they sort of sent half the people mid, half the people are going top, because Dubu's saying to himself, like, guys, we have to shove this wave back.
Right.
So, but right now I think you should still go for the smoke. After you clear this out, just smoke to Dubu or something. Like, there's still a play to be made here.
Yeah, and it's that window doesn't really like close at any point until it just becomes like less of a strong hit of that timing, I guess.
Yeah. I still think, I mean, you shove this way one more time. Go. You really want to use these cooldowns.
You're getting antsy for them. You're all about this. I love it. I think that that's the perfect move, and now it's heading out. Of course, Global, like you were talking about. Who is it that they're going to run into, though? Because Fly is the only one that's actually going to be even close to showing on the map right now. The rest of OG are all back behind by their Tier 2 tower mid.
This is such a cool move by OG, by the way. You notice, like, because most teams would sit behind somebody at top, right? That's why you smoke to your silencer. But, oh, Fly,
nicely done. Yule Scepter pickup, and Fly going to be punished for this one. It'll take a little while before he ends up going down, and he'll cause some trouble.
Yeah. The problem with that play, Gabe, or the reason why they only got that Keeper of the Light was because they were just a little bit too slow.
Okay.
Because once that Queen of Pain shoves in that one more wave mid, it becomes a little obvious.
Alright.
The bottom wave's been shoved in, this Queen of Pain blinks in aggressively to clear out that mid wave. Like, what could they possibly be doing? That's, you know, it's a little bit... but if they're a little bit faster, if they immediately smoke, they make that move up to Dubu at top, then they can connect, and maybe they get a core out of that.
Well, and now that we've had that pick-off happen, it does mean that there's at least an opportunity here to pressure for a Tier 2 tower. Bottom lane is being shoved in by Illusions, and they, in fact, might be able to take the Tier 1 tower bottom of the Dire. With solo S4 there, they're going to pull him back in. A couple quick hits, but the counterplay coming in. Maybe should have popped that global second earlier, but it doesn't end up mattering. They're still going to take down S4, and DC getting set up to do some more damage.
Yeah. That was a BKB popped as well as the global, though. This is probably where DC disengages because they don't have the best vision, but...
Oh, everybody bouncing around. It ends up turning into a three-person burrow strike. The pushback is nice from the Coddle, and now No Tail trying to see if he can do a little bit more work onto Abed. He lost all of his mana with that, but he still will be able to get that kill and get out.
Yeah, a little bit dicey because DC, you know, they don't have the best vision there, and OG still can't capitalize on that as the rough part. Because normally when a situation like that happens, it's the best time for the defending team to capitalize, right? You see all 5 heroes, you know none of their spells are up, but DC's just a little bit too more farmed. They're gonna 5-man Shrine. When's the next? They have another smoke. They could just go for it again. This Bat Rider's gonna have his lasso up in 20 short seconds. Like you could, this top wave is shoved in. Abed blinks forward aggressively, at bottom shoves that wave in, and the other 4 smoke and connect to him. That's your play.
Alright. Even without global down, you think that they're so much stronger that it wouldn't end up really mattering that much?
Because you're not anticipating for them to get into a 5-man. You're hoping you just find 1 or 2 heroes. And that way you're grouped up as well, and nobody gets picked off.
Scary stuff happening now, though, as Roshan is trying to be snuck by OG. Do DC have an inkling that this has happened? They don't have those normal vision-oriented heroes
this
that
is going to
they
be
would
way too fast.
in the Clockwork or what have you, but
Fly would be a no-tail up at top.
Trying to
This
go
would
on
be a
him.
good trade.
If they can kill him off, Dubu is there as well, but where's the follow-up damage? They don't really have it. Bulba is trying to come in right now, but Jerix is also going to scout him out. Can he actually find it? Epicenter coming in now, looking for Jerix. Isn't quite on the mark, but they still might be able to make something of this as they've been able to take down that Slardar as well.
Oh, Fly goes down in the background too. Only Ana and S4 are left for this. They might just get kited for this. He gets dusted.
Oh, nice jump forward by Abed. He's able to find him. Now the blink forward and the stun, but Mason stuck in the trees for a moment. Isn't going to matter. They still take down that Aegis, and Bulba able to dodge away from the EMP. Second time around, should not be that big of an issue. Deafening blast to no avail as Ana will die yet again. 4 down, 16-9. DC looking strong.
Yeah, and they're playing really decisively. A lot of teams, they would think, oh, that CK might be a bait or something like that, but they understand it's not. The Roshan falls, they immediately jump on that opportunity. Mason comes in with the backlines as well. DC, just all over the map right now, playing a little bit too fast for OG. Not enough team fight on their side, because this Invoker, he still doesn't feel that comfortable fighting. And right now, your CK isn't farmed enough that you can frontline with him, and this S4 Bristleback just isn't that scary.
I guess it's just, you know, again, the sort of the speed of the heroes and the way that they came online causing a lot of issues.
This Bat Rider, man.
Yeah.
It always comes back. Like, around the time TI rolls around, You're just like, you forget about him. Like, it's kind of a mediocre hero. Bam, Bat Rider.
Right.
Because there's no this initiation is insane. You Bat Rider global team fight is so chaotic for the enemy team. What does OG do? They kind of just have to wait for that 4 seconds. And at bottom, again,
no.
they don't even have to commit the lasso this time.
Oh, quick little pick off again as Slardar gets taken down. I was looking up there at the top. Also, Dubu just sort of like annoyingly throwing an arcane curse and a last word onto the bristleback and then TPing away.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, contribution.
I mean, it's just sort of like the petty little annoying things, the mental warfare of a Dota 2 game.
Yeah, he's got in-stolen. That's worth gold.
Totally.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
All right. So Abed down bottom takes the tower, and now the rotation up towards the top. No Tail is here. Does have that cooldown reduction, depending upon what skill he wants to use. Maybe a double reality rift for funsies. But it looks like OG just going to back out now, not wanting to take the fight yet.
But man, DC, 3K lead. It's slowly growing. They're showing that the VP series, no problems at all.
Yeah.
As mid, they pop the global to save him. That play doesn't even work in favor. This is a very farm Queen of Pain. She's going to have a plate mail. Going to be nigh and killable pretty soon.
Yeah, with the Lincoln Sphere as well. Man, so for OG at this point, the plan doesn't really change that much, does it? You've got Coddle for high ground defense along with like a Invoker, but I guess there's still the issue of a Bat Rider being able to siege high ground as well.
Yeah, because he can just grab somebody. If he grabs Fly, for example, at bottom, which is exactly what he's going to do.
What do you do now?
Goodbye, sweet summer child.
Olba is going to be able to find that kill. No Tail shows up, though, looking like he wants to battle for Rev. It's a little juke away through the trees. The tornado
You don't want to overextend for this.
Him. Are they going to be running into trouble? Sven is coming in from the back. On the other side, it's going to be Slardar already in a little bit of trouble. They get the Yule Scepter, lift up in the tornado. It's not all going to be able to do it. He's going forward for more. Sonic Wave comes out onto 3. Mason shows up. Big bad man, indeed, with a big old stick. Hitting S4 in the back. Able to take him down. Well, actually, he's going to be able to walk out for the moment. The cheese keeping him alive, but Ana already had to TP home. All 5 of DC are on top of S4, and there are Lotus Orbs and Echo shells bouncing all over the place. They all die in the end.
10K himself. Coming in clutch for his team. Oh, that was sick spell casting by DC. Dodges that stun. Chases through. Gets the kill on Jerax. Manages to get his ulti off. Sets the team fight for his team. And the thing is, even though his team wasn't all there right at that moment, they got there in time.
Right.
You're in such a good position there. You killed Fly. You have this Bat Rider being chased. OG can't really commit to anything. They used their stun on their tornado. He didn't go down. Now you're in a position where you're fighting 3v5. What do you really do? That's perfect fight territory for DC.
And again, like you said, it may be baiting out a little bit of too enthusiastic of a response from OG. DC
They just want to get something, man.
Yeah.
That's just frustration. They're like, we need to do something. We just let our guy get kidnapped.
Oh, no.
That's like Taken if Liam Neeson didn't exist.
So who's Liam Neeson then in this analogy? I
Liam
love that.
Neeson? I mean, it's gonna have to be
Mad?
Ana.
Is it Mad?
It's gotta have to be Ana, dude.
Okay, it's Ana.
Ana's their Liam Neeson in this.
Alright, let's see it, Liam Neeson. I believe in you. Bat Rider, though, looking forward. They're capturing the daughter yet again. Coddle in trouble.
The
Fly
sequel.
going down. It's got the same ending. Abed finds the kill. Unstoppable streak at this point for him. And now can they find any more? They have vision over this. No Tail spotted him. There's the blink back. Now maybe in a little bit more trouble. Pops the BKB, turns to run away. Another jump forward. Abed wanting to get further aggressive here. Now Mason shows up, but a good stun, keeping him back for the moment. Can they kill off Ana? Liam Neeson is down. S4 also in trouble. DC dive in the base. Dive in every damn thing, and they're not quite able to get that reality rift pullback. Instead, it's going to be No Tail falling as well. Jerax retreats to the well.
There's no objective for them to take. This is how you know a team's ahead. Like, I was looking at the map, I was like, and they're going to transition into a push. No, they're not. There's still tier 2 towers everywhere.
Yeah.
As far as the eye can see.
Wow. Well, what was, you know, I was looking at it earlier, it was relatively even in gold, but the big telling tale was that it was 10,000 experience. Now 30,000 experience lead and right around 9,000 gold.
To be fair, though, that gold is a bit skewed because of how far behind the silencer is.
Right.
He's got 3,000 net worth compared to what everyone else on OG has, minimum 6k almost. So he's kind of dragging like 3k behind that. So it was almost closer to like a 10k overall on the course, like the heroes that mattered during that time. Is Forev once again. He's on the prowl. He's got the ult up. He's done it all game.
He shows a little bit of restraint there.
That one's a little bold.
Yeah.
You've got a gem. You can just get map control now.
Well, Roshan may respawn in another minute. We'll have to wait for the actual timing on that one. But is there anything that OG can really do to come and contest this next Roshan? How scary is that for their lineup right now?
The Batrider does two things really well. One, high ground, both offensive and defense, and Roshan fights. Because if you think about Roshan, is like there's no high ground area, so Batrider just rules Supreme, right? Because you can just sticky inside the Roshan pit, you can throw out spells, you can try to stun somebody out of it. Firefly is one of the best vision spells in the game against Roshan. Like that's why every single fight they take around that area, even with the Aegis immediately thereafter, they get pummeled. But this time, they're gonna sit on top of this high ground. They're gonna be smart about this. Abed should scream in this mid wave. Yeah, you scream at least once because you want to shove in waves.
Yeah,
that might have given it away, but you gotta do it. I would have done it.
There you go. No Tail picked up an arcane rune also.
Oh, they're gonna ping. They notice something up.
They're
going the long way. They don't want to get high grounded. Oh, this is so cool.
Are they actually? I mean, because they have a creep wave here too, and no tier 2 tower.
No, they should take this fight. They're just going the long way around. As Mason jumps in, the global's committed.
They're trying to take this fight. He does pull back in. No Tail though. Chaos Knight separated from the team, and S4 is down as well. And now OG nowhere left to go. They break the Lincolns. Ana trying to TP away, but they get the lift off. The gem gave the vision, and now with Invoker, he has to fight his way out of here. But there is just no way that's going to happen. All 5 of DC on top of him. My God.
Yeah, and you saw what OG was trying to do. They were assuming that DC would make the play, which they did, but they thought that they would come from the north, but they didn't. They went all the way around, so that it was flat ground no matter what. That is so patient by them.
Certainly feeling the hype right now. DC making the plays they need. Mason wanting to get aggressive there. Got force staffed forward by his own team, and now a tier 3 tower going to be taken. Do they continue to remain patient and go back for shrines afterwards, or you stick for barracks?
I think you get the racks. No, you take this tower and you reset. Because you're fine. You don't want to lose your gems. You picked up gems. You're fine. Get out. OG's desperate at this point. Any one more push or one more team fight will just be that last little tip, and you're good. Roshan's gonna spawn too. You know that OG every single time they've gone there, disaster. You're about to hit 25 on Abed. Why risk anything? So Roshan is gonna be up. Maybe OG goes for some desperate fight there. They realize things are getting real dire.
Well, and I'm sort of also, it felt like they just, you know, DC put their foot on the pedal and never looked back. This play of sneaking Roshan, do not believe it's going to work. Abed jumps back.
Stun. Here comes again.
Forev's caught him. The Lotus Orb out a little bit too late. That is going to be a kill. No Tail going down. Tornado's going to connect onto several, but can they actually find their way out of this? This is so spooky right now. The wall is already down. Abed jumps back in. Ana's going to drop the triple kill from Mason.
Boba catches him with the stun in the back too.
Stunning himself as well. S4 is going to fall. Ultra kill from Mason. 35 minutes in. 9-33.
Don't even bother with the Roshan. March down.
Oh my God. DC looking really good. I think a lot of people, I mean, you know, we're saying as if the game's over. It's not quite. There's always high ground defense, but people would not have expected this level of play against a team like OG that's just been so dominant this year.
Yeah, but I think it was the draft, which is why I asked you in the beginning. I said,
right,
independent of what two teams that you see, what do you think the better draft is? But at the same time, like, better draft or not, some of the moves that DC made this game were just insane. Like, the decision to go all the way around with that smoke.
Yeah.
The way that they played this Batrider, I mean, Forev. Ooh. 6-1-25.
You put
He's
him
been in
efficiency.
31 out of their 33 kills. And on top of that, he's only died once as Bad Rider. And that was that very beginning of the game. Remember when he got dove at bottom? And he almost lived through that too.
Uh-oh.
Might be the last fight of the game.
Pop God strength. Mason turns to fight. The jump forward. No tail. His illusions cleared in just one quick cleave. Mason doing the damage. 40 seconds without these heroes here. A big tornado and the EMP comes out, but it's all for naught as they're going to get a triple kill. And I believe they're going to do what you finally have been telling them. Run down mid. DC looking to clean up game number 1 in very fashionable style.
Yeah. They're going to pick up a win. Probably huge relief, especially with the kind of competition that they were able to play against. I mean, this is what happens. Sometimes your draft is a little bit shaky. A team like DC is not bad at all. This is TI. All the teams are very good here.
Well, a big win for DC. OG certainly not what they would have expected, but expecting to see big things from them in the next game, particularly since it's a best of 2. You come back in, you change some things around. But that's been it for us in game number 1, OG versus DC. Myself, Lyrical, as well as Blitz will be back in just a few minutes with game number 2. Taking a look at game number 2 now. It's OG versus DC. I'm Lyrical, joined as well by the wonderful Blitz DotA. We just had a pretty cool match where Forev went completely ham on a Bat Rider, was able to steal away a bunch of kills, and well, from there, Mason on a big bad Sven, and of course Abed playing a tremendous Quap. Blitz, in your estimation, do you think that it's worthy right now, like OG taking out that silencer? Was that really the catalyst for everything else that came afterwards?
They obviously feel that way because they banned it.
Yeah.
And it is the combination. Like Bat Rider plus the silencer. We saw it in the EG game. I'm not saying that, I mean, EG, TNC, they're pretty close teams, but they felt really comfortable with that combination. But OG going to take the Earthshaker, which, in my opinion, having played numerous pubs, this is such a good hero. Like, Earthshaker's just, he's obscene. The amount of things that he does, he has 3 different stuns, he blows you up. It's not fun to play against Gabe.
I know, you get farm on him and he kills anybody.
Oh, this is a Bat Rider again, though. Because Bat Rider's good against Earthshaker. It always bounces back.
So talk to me about it. What's the big reason Bat Rider is good against Earthshaker? Is it just breaking blinks?
It's not just that. It's the... Okay, so first, it's like an initiation on initiation game, right? Like, both heroes are ones that want to start the initial jump. But Bat Rider has the advantage because he has Firefly.
Okay.
So he can always see, you know, relatively what he's walking into.
All right.
Of course, it kind of goes both ways. It's a matchup that sort of goes both ways in the sense that, like, Earthshaker can always fissure if he sees a Bat Rider try to... But it's annoying. Because also, at the same time, like, if you're... Imagine trying to turn around and, you know, you want to hit people or you want to try to turn to get a better angle at fissure and you're just getting sticky napalmed.
10 seconds.
God, sticky napalm sucks.
I can understand what you're talking about there, and it feels like you're talking about like the dynamic of vision versus vision. It feels like it's the team that prioritizes that more heavily with the other heroes might also help. But it's also going to be OG taking the Faceless Void to pair together with the Earthshaker. Seeing Bat Rider Puck taken this early on, is that surprising? You all seen 2 cores taken in the first phase, or is that still kind of okay?
It's flexible still. Like, we might have been the only team that did it, we saying Planet Odd, that did Bat Rider 4 position. If you remember, Misery did it quite a bit to pretty good success, I'd say.
Okay, all right.
I think we were like 2 and 3 with it. That's pretty good, right?
I mean, 66%, that's above average, right?
So you say pretty good. It's like, you don't say good, because good is like a B.
Yeah.
That's like an 80. A pretty good is like, that's like...
I mean, 66 is a D, right? So...
Yeah, but maybe I was like a D, like
Okay.
I was an F student.
All right.
All Dota players are F students, so D's pretty good.
I can dig it. All right, so your Bat Rider position 4, you think that's good.
Pretty good. I really need to make that distinction clear. Like, you don't put words in my mouth.
All right, I'm with you.
Pretty good. And Puck can play offlane, but it's most likely going to be a Puck mid and a Bat offlane.
I like what you're saying there, though, because it's like if something goes disastrously wrong in the rest of this draft, at the very least, they have something to fall back upon.
Yeah. And imagine this, like, they completely counterpick these two heroes. Then you have the option, if you absolutely need to, you can put this Puck offlane, you can put this Bat Rider as a 4.
Okay. Well, for now at least, it was, like we said, the Faceless Void Earthshaker. To me, this just feels like we are going to team fight, we are going to control you, and to pick Puck into that, a little bit bold, a little bit cool. I guess that it was the Void as the last, so it wasn't quite into it, but is that something to be concerned at all for the Puck?
It's more annoying for the Bat Rider.
Really? Okay.
Because, time dilation.
Right.
Time dilation wrecks you. It's the one thing that makes that trumps Sticky Napalm. Like, in terms of annoying abilities, there's a tier rating right now in my head. It's like Arcane Curse, Sticky Napalm, Time Dilation. Because Time Dilation and Arcane, you don't want to cast abilities, which is super counterintuitive to Dota.
Yeah. So I guess where does Mana Leak fit on that scale, and are we going to see it?
Mana Leak is not... It's not as high.
Okay, alright.
Because the other ones are just... Because it doesn't come into play until later on.
Right.
Whereas Arcane Curse and Time Dilation and Sticky's always there.
Oh, DC going back for the Sand King yet again. The Bulba hero. They already had the Clockwork Band. I guess that's just sort of the secondary one that they want to run it on. And, you know, this was a hero that really blew up and was all over the place, and then sort of, after the nerf to Caustic, wasn't seen as much in the offlane role. How viable do you think this is? How much do you like the Sand King and 4 role?
I think it's excellent, because it does the same thing that Cuddle does in the sense that he's one of the offlane, or he's one of the support players that can shove, jungle, like he does it all. He roams it incredibly effectively. Like you get level 3, level 2 stun. That's a kill for most lanes. You pressure lanes like crazy. You're not like the Slardar, because if you imagine, remember what I talked about, like the Slardar's downside, is when you don't have Blink, you're just slowly running at people,
yeah,
and you're hoping your darnest that they stand still. But Sand King, he has, you know, he's gonna get Trinkle Boots and run at you, and he's gonna catch up and stun you. He's always gonna. That was the meta that developed between us and Newbie at ESL Genting.
Right.
Where at the time Slardar was seen as the better hero, and then it became this meta where all of a sudden Sand King beats Slardar because Sand King can just stun, and Slardar can't really do too much.
5 seconds remaining.
Wow. And now Dazzle in response to this, hoping for a little bit of wave push on their own. Yeah, it does definitely feel like with all these different sources of initiation, maybe Faceless Void, I guess it depends on what lane this Earthshaker gets thrown into, but it might run into that classic problem of not having damage to throw into the Chronosphere. And I feel like this is very like a no-tail hero, the Void in this instance.
It is. If you remember way back in the day, especially for a team like OG, it always comes around. Everything, it's like a circle, you know? Time is a flat circle. It all just... I love that. They're going to pick defensive heroes and cores that they can back up. But DC, with the Lycan pick, that hero's really good right now. It's beating everybody.
Yeah, I think I've only seen it lose one game. It was Fnatic that played it for Ajit, and they just completely sacrificed him, which meant that they, you know, obviously weren't able to do as much.
To be fair, Fnatic has lost all 4 games.
Yeah.
So they might be downscaling that hero.
That's fair enough. But this, the DP, I've been wondering when this hero is going to come back, and it's so cool played together with that Faceless Void. You just trap them in, have the little ghosts eat them up, and they don't have something like a Sven to boost up the armor or anything else like that to keep people alive. I guess Howl is probably the closest thing that you would have to it. But if you think about like a Weave drop down, a Chronosphere there, an Exorcism, they're all just going to be eaten up, torn to shreds.
That is like the most perfect fight that you've had to lay out, though.
That's true.
Dota's never like that.
True.
You know what's gonna happen?
Okay.
She's gonna get gripped, just pulled back. They're gonna try to save her with the grave. She's gonna get tossed up in the air by this Puck Yule Scepter or something like that. Get blown up. I don't know.
You're not liking the DP pick, is what you're telling me.
No, I think it's sick, but I can always make the argument, you know, in terms of ideal team fights.
No, that's true. That's fair enough.
We'll make it wild.
And I guess that's the thing is if you don't find that ideal team fight for OG, you maybe waste an ultimate here or there, and all of a sudden you don't have that much of an ability to fight anymore, whereas DC's lineup, a lot more capability to constantly fight.
That's exactly the point that I was going to bring it. You're so good at
Oh
what you
my
do,
God.
Lyrical.
I just take from the best, and you know
You're the new
casting with
capitalist.
you. Oh my God, I don't know. What
You're the new
talking
cap,
about. You're
for
outta
sure.
here. Well, I already stole his co-casters, so we're on the right track.
Yeah. You're Ash Ketchum. I'm Pikachu. You chose me. I chose you. You don't know who chose who.
Yeah.
That was great.
You're turning into Owen. You're the rap god now.
Yeah. I definitely am not.
But talk to me about it.
It was like, because if you notice OG's lineup, the reason why I was making fun of you is because their team fight has to go well.
Right.
Because they have such high cooldown abilities. Like when you have Chronosphere and Death Prophet Ultimate, like you need these things to go right. You cannot mess these things up. Blowing DP ults, especially as a DP player, it's frustrating. Like it slows down the pace of your game. Like I know Mad is going to be watching this game very intently and saying to himself like, these need to go right. Like I need these team fights to go right. But his team is one of the, you know, OG, one of the best team fight execution teams in the world, which is why they can consistently pull off lineups that maybe other teams can't.
All right. Well, and a last ban now from the Nature's Prophet, another thing that would have allowed that constant team fight to come, and now we're going to get a classic, Jerax Earth Spirit. And we've been seeing a couple teams save their position for last recently. I mean, as like a, you know, coach and all, what's the idea behind that? Is it just sort of the way that the drafts work out now, or is it because you're not going to have last pick, you might as well just throw your mid out there and get the one you really want?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is if you're 4th pick mid, 5th, if you're not last pick, and you're 4th or 5th picking, it doesn't really matter having a core role in that position, because you're gonna have to. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this.
Okay.
Okay, if you're 4th or 5th, if you're gonna have to consecutively 4th and 5th pick, in that sense, and you're not last pick, then you're gonna have to have revealed what you're gonna do anyways in the mid part of the strategy, so it doesn't really matter. Whereas like that's why this last pick option, 2nd pick, is a little bit balanced, because you have this ability to just like nail it. You know, you can look at the enemy draft, like DC can look at OG's draft and say, man, as long as I get Ana in this chrono, they can't stop this black hole, and that's their condition to win at all times.
Yeah.
That's why you can do things like this as the last pick in the Enigma. But I mean, any Dubus here? I told you, Dubu Batrider.
I was gonna say.
I said it leaves it open.
You ended up going back.
I said pretty good is what I said, right?
Well, talk to me about this. How pretty good is the Faceless
Lyrical.
Void mid?
Can you see me now?
I know you did it. You called it right at the start.
It was a very shaky call though. I wasn't willing to put my name on it. I think it's good. Because if you think about it, Puck orbs, and I should just he can just time walk, yeah. And if I know Bulba, and I saw this guy playing the calls, he's gonna sit mid with the Sand King, and Puck does not want to live against that life.
Yeah. Help out his buddy. Make sure that Abed has a good start to this game. As you mentioned, just no answer for a BKB black hole with the exception of a Chronosphere.
So as long as you get your Void in, and hopefully, you know, if you're DC, the Void's going to throw it out first. But so I mean, in terms of like the win condition, DC always has one. That's always such a relief, by the way. Like as long as you have some sort of win condition, like it's a lot easier to play. And for people that haven't played competitive Dota, that might be confusing, but it's like there's always this pressure on you, especially at a TI. You have this like inherent like fear, you know, where you're thinking to yourself like, I could always lose. You know, this game, like, well, what are we gonna do if we get a little bit behind? And you start to panic and you make these bad plays because you feel like you don't have a way to win the game eventually. But when you have something like this, like, they'll always fall back on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might get behind, but they'll say, all it takes is one hole, guys, and that'll up your morale like crazy.
I guess that's the same type of thing with a, you know, no-tail exorcism. I guess maybe not, because they're going to be able to build into armor items. But yeah, I'll be very curious how that works out for them. Also, the Batrider support. So you were talking about this before. You love the pick. What is it that's going to be his
pretty
job?
Good. Again, you're going too far. You're taking this too far. His job this game is to try to disrupt the team fight.
Okay.
Because if you look at it, this Enigma, he has to play patient with his black hole. Like when Forev gets his items, he has to play patient. So you need this Batrider to be the one to get in there, be annoying, but at the same time he needs farm. Like you need stacks.
Okay.
The good news though is by putting this Faceless Void, oh, they're actually going to swap completely.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. So what I thought what they would do is they would put Ana mid on the Void because, like, what do you do then? But at the same time, I feel like the Sand King he has a purpose in this game by just going mid and messing with this DP. But I think maybe this is the right call, especially if you just dedicated dual lane.
Oh, Bulba protecting the courier, making sure it doesn't end up going down. What a guy.
Not today, J-Rax.
Well, and Abed still going to be able to have his salve brought... Oh, not quite brought out to him, actually, it looks like. It's still on the courier. Had to make the long way around. Drops the GG brand. It's going to heal back up. I was wondering if Fly was going to go back in for that. But talk to me about it. So you see that there's this Earth Spirit roaming around. Can he really even like find a kill here onto Forev?
I don't really think so, but I don't even know. Void versus the Enigma. I imagine the Enigma does okay, but it's still Enigma at the end of the day.
Salve used. So mid lane, you said that the puck should have a decent time against the DP. Is there any like kill potential with rotations for both of these heroes, or are both of them rather safe?
I think it's much easier to kill the DP, which is why I thought they were doing Void mid, but I guess that was stupid of me to think. Just because Faceless Void would be having a rough time too. Because you're level 1 time walk, what are you going to do every... How long is it of a cooldown? 24 seconds. So you time walk one orb and just get right clicked 8 times? Alright, I was actually really dumb. My bad. I should take full responsibility for making bad comments as well.
I should have just called you out, but I didn't.
You should have, man.
I know, I missed my chance. At the end of the day, though, like, poor man shield too. So Bulma is going to be trying to farm out this camp. He did end up getting a nice little stack on it, and is getting into level 2, might be close to level 3 by the time it's all said and done. But the CS battle going pretty nicely so far for DC. Mason's been able to pull these creeps back away before they get pulled to the camp, and well, it looks like Jarek's coming in time to only get experience from that last Wildkin.
They've got really greedy supports though, on the side of DC. Like this Sand King and this Batrider both need games.
Abed? Dropping low. One more right click. No Tail solos him. He is going to die. No! They got it in time, Fly! Oh, the dynamic duo. They do it again.
That's some Celine Dion music shit. Just saves him at the last second.
Oh, man. Well, No Tail, proving that he's still got the mid lane chops, can do it all and then some.
What a beast. Not even his role. Casually strolls up, kills Abed by himself. No help needed.
Man.
That's got to be a blow. 'Cause that's not supposed to happen.
Right. About a half level ahead because of that.
Yeah.
Is level 6 something, obviously for DP it's a great spell, but sometimes you don't see Exorcism cast until a little bit later. Does it matter all that much?
It's not as big as it is for other heroes. Like when Invoker or DP gets 6, you're not on alert, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with Puck, of course, anybody is liable to die to Coil. At the same time, I mean, they've got a safe lane Void. It's very hard for him to die. He's level 4, doesn't have a single level time dilation up yet. Could level time walk. I think he's just waiting to see right now what happens. Play it by ear.
Well, Abed there is just going to, use the farming mechanism, backs back out again. You mentioned the greedy support combo. They are going to be rotating mid now. Dubu has 2 points up in Firefly, but it is right as the shrine is being used. So I guess that they're going to try and time this for when he comes back and maybe see if they can make something happen.
That's a pretty strong DP though. He's got two charges of Spirit Siphon. And if he wants, he can level a Silence as well.
Moving in though, the silent Dream Coil is used, not Silence yet. He only gets the one off. Can he actually get out of there? The Grave comes, but his No Tail still going to end up being dropped there.
Oh, they might just die Fly too. If Abe gets from behind him.
Ton of damage. They're moving in. Bulba doesn't quite have enough mana yet. He's just got it now and had to trade off that aggro.
Bulba, don't die here!
Get punched. Is he going to be able to get out of there? Fly
Jarex
still getting
roll.
rained down. Jarex rolls forward. Needs a burrow strike out, but it's going to be brought down. Bulba gets dropped. They do find 2 kills, but it comes at a cost.
Ah, he was so slow for that. As Mason gets a solo pickup on this Earthshaker without even having to commit his ultimate at the same time up at top.
Uh-oh, Jerax
Here.
also found himself a Dubu. A good bit of damage. Is Jerax going to end up going down now as well?
Any Dubus here? Just one.
Man. All right. A flurry of action. Much more aggression than we saw in the last game. Break it down for me. I mean, obviously DC coming out ahead in terms of kills.
Just faster heroes. Much more punishing ability. Jerax, not sure where to go, or I'm not sure where he's supposed to go. Like, he made the best of a bad situation there, but at the same time goes down nonetheless. Puck kind of recovers his game a little bit, and that's the scary thing about Puck, is he has this ability to pressure you as soon as he gets that coil.
Well, Coil is back up, but also No Tail's been able to hit 6, and he is going to be popping that Exorcism, doing a bit of damage, and actually they found themselves a Dubu. He kicks Dubu and not a rock. A little bit unfortunate, and that means that Dubu should get away, I think. He shouldn't die there.
DC, they're just going to Firefly up this tower. And this is why the level 6 isn't as key on the Death Prophet. Like, you're going to pop that Exorcism, but like, what does it really do for you? Is Jerax?
Oh, well played by Abed. Dodges the stun and then able to make the kill happen onto Jerax. So, tower down to about half HP, but they keep it alive.
Yeah. I think this Death Prophet, for sure, this is the way that you should play it, though. You should try to use your ulti, trip it down. Because otherwise you're just holding on to it. You're not doing anything with it. The downside, though, is it's not that scary like we talked about. It's not like some heroes where you hit level 6 and you're just inherently afraid of that hero.
Right.
Like, this hero needs a decent amount of build-up. Like, you probably need at least one more item. And interestingly enough, it looks like he wants to go for this Veil. First item. Not too typical.
On the DP. Yeah. Oh, Dubu. Yeah, up top there, moving in now, and with all this big rotations, they are not quite going to kill Dubu off, actually. They can walk in. He does have Echo Slam available if he wants to use it, trying to keep Jerax alive with the body blocks, but
Dubu
they're not
just
going to
trying
fully
to kite.
commit to it.
Oh, he didn't get the Grave off either on Jerax.
Now Fly in a little bit of trouble. S4 is still there and does have the Echo Slammy. Thought about the Fissure, holding onto it again for the moment, and Dubu is coming in as well. They're going to separate.
He just continues to kite him with this sticky napalm as Fly trying to close him off into this corner.
Now they get the Earthshaker Fissure block to make sure that Fly doesn't get dove. But this fight has just gone on for so long, and S4 is still chasing him, but now Abed shows up with a haste rune. Oh, S4 dove a little bit too deep here and is going to be punished. The Grave is there, but that might just mean that Fly is dead as well. No way to stop this. S4 dies before the Fissure, and TP's canceled.
This is a pretty significant lead at just 9 minutes. 4K already. Even when, last game, when DC were just stomping fights, they didn't have this big of a lead.
Uh-oh. And rolling in, Jerax going to be able to play his way out of it for the moment. The Burrow Strike is going to come in as well, and Jerax gets Black Hold.
Even committing
solo. They do not give a damn.
Yeah, they're just like, we're picking up kills everywhere around the map. They got to kill mid, they immediately go get 2 kills top, they get a kill bottom. Everyone on this map in the last minute has died, sans this Void. And now they're committing for this push at bottom, and this has to do something. Because they're going to lose this mid tower, and we talked about last game, Gabe, what we mentioned was the importance of that mid tower. They're just going to have to give this up for free. They're going to take this bottom offlane tower, but Dubu could even just Firefly to try to keep this alive, maybe force the commitment of the Chronosphere. You can do that.
Yeah.
It would probably be worth it if it stops the push. They're going to commit the glyph to this. Mid tower goes down simultaneously. Not even losing this bottom one.
Wow. You obviously don't want to overcommit here for OG. It's so scary to move in like this. The things that have been going well in this game, mainly that DP and the farm that he's been able to get, but, well, tower brought down fairly low. They aren't going to quite get it, as you mentioned. OG forced to back out yet again. And DC, they're just playing so well right now.
They are. This series, it's not even that OG is making any critical mistakes. It's just that DC is making very good rotations. They're understanding their heroes incredibly well. And they're playing fast and aggressively. Like, they're playing to win. They're not playing not to lose. Mm-hmm. They've got this Midas up in this Enigma too. That 5k gold lead is going to snowball even further. This is a hero that usually, like the Invoker, kind of has dead net worth. Because most of the time you just get a Midas in farm, but he's been able to have impact early on. He saved his bottom tower. He was able to get a kill on Jerax.
Look at this. Dubu's playing so aggressively here, and I think that, you know, OG is expecting there's other heroes behind him, but really it's this rotation. Abed and Bulba together, seeing if they can find somebody, and S4, in fact, might be the one that they run into, trying to build towards that Blink Dagger, but he's going to end up being even furthered, pulled down. He actually manages to get the Echo Slam
There's
off.
a silence, too.
What? How does that happen? He still gets the Dream Coil, finds the kill, but that was closer than it should have been, probably.
Yeah. At the same time, they lost top tower. They committed Echo. They either had to save somebody or, you know, at the very least had to not die. That's a big spell committed. They really need this chrono to be used right now. I think that's the biggest move, is that Ana's been holding onto this chrono for the last 2 minutes. Something needs to happen on the map for them right now, because this pace is not comfortable. It's 7k. In the last 2 minutes since we've talked, it's gone up another 2,000 gold.
Really impressive play.
And Ana, he's going to get gone on at bottom. There's no black hole, so you shouldn't be too worried about this.
Well, Dubu is still in the area, and he does have lasso. He's going to walk over the top. They spot that S4 is TPing in, and
you might think about chronoing here. They're bringing a lot of heroes. You should just commit something for this.
Yeah, he does get that Chronosphere, but can he actually take him down? The damage
There's
is
the
not
stun.
quite there, and it is finally going to come as No-Tail shows up.
Yeah. If you commit 3 heroes down there and you don't get that kill, you've effectively ruined your own game.
Right.
So you just have to commit. It doesn't feel good because it's only a Bat Rider, but what's done is done at that point. You've committed the TP of 2 of your cores. Make something happen.
Oh no. And now a black hole about to be off cooldown again. I was wondering if Rev was going to go there since Abed had the invis. They did scan out that Abed was moving down to the bottom lane. OG did, but at the end of the day, it's still just really good movement around the map. Like, you look at Bulba here pushing out the creep wave. You've got people mid as well. As long as you don't lose Dubu, and it looks like it might just happen. The roll in, it's not quite there in time. No-Tail able to find him for a moment with the Spirit Siphon, but Dubu should be able to get away from this, and maybe going to try and hold on to this mid tower.
Yeah.
Another exorcism used.
You can bring the Enigma over too, if absolutely need be, but Abed has his ultimate. They're even going to drag him back. No fissure quite yet. No-Tail. You don't really want to mess with this.
Silence, keeping him alive, but now the Dream Coil onto 2. They're set up for the black hole. He jumps over to the other side. They're still in danger of running into this black hole and should be able to just secure the kill onto No-Tail regardless. That's going to be one.
Oh,
another one going to Ana. Fly is also getting ran down. The big bad wolf is chasing out Fly on the poor Dazzle, and he is eventually going to fall.
Oh, he might even get stunned too.
They caught out S4. He's going to end up dropping. Silence comes out. DC are just running all over OG. No respect at all. They don't quite kill off S4, but it honestly doesn't matter. They're taking the towers. They're winning the fights. They're doing everything.
Yeah, and they didn't even have to commit the black hole to that. Their big ability, that it's really their only cooldown that's pretty massive. We talked about how they were going to be able to push the pace with their low cooldown abilities, and that's exactly what's happened so far, Gabe. They're able to go around the map, kill people non-stop. There's not a whole lot that OG can do. The one time they were forced to commit the chrono at bottom, they get a kill on a Bat Rider, but they don't transition it into anything. Remember, they killed the Bat Rider, then they had it back because everyone moved forward. Abed made the rotation down. He ruins the space that they created by doing so. They're not able to take any of these tier 1 towers down with this Death Prophet ultimate. And the longer this kind of thing happens, the less effective your spell usage gets.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Yeah, it's a real problem. And you just look at the map movements also. It's always like one DC hero in a lane versus like OG are sort of forced to commit several different heroes, and then they're just getting more out of the map, and the net worth lead continues to be accentuated. As far as DC is concerned, like, what's the thing to worry about at this point? How do OG kind of pull themselves back in?
I think for OG, you still have 2 very strong teamfight ultimates, but at the same time, I'm not sure because it's hard for them to match the pace right now because they don't really have the heroes. DC, we talked about it. They have 2 very greedy supports, but they weren't punished very hard. Their laning phase wasn't really punished. Usually when you have 2 really greedy supports like this, you pick an offlaner that can do something. You pick 2 heroes that can mess with the offlane. But, I mean, this Lycan went relatively untouched. In fact, he got a solo kill on S4's.
Oh, roll in. Jarex is there. Can they actually do this?
This is a big kill on this puck.
To make it happen, they will find at least one. Dubu going to TP out now. Looks like he will. Oh! You understand it, but that one hurt.
That one... You did get, in a way, if you want to think about it that way, you got the puck kill.
Yeah.
So that...
I mean, let's be real. The Chronosphere, that one hurt. It was a rough one.
Yeah, again, Here's the thing: is at bottom you could tell he didn't really want to chrono this Batrider.
Yeah.
But you have to commit every kill. Your entire team is there, especially if your entire team is there. Maybe if it's just you, you'll think twice about it. You'll go for the bash or something like that.
Yeah.
But if your entire team is there, you want to make something happen.
Oh, are they just going to hold this? No, they're going to be able to kill him off without it. Everything's down, and Mason takes down S4. And now, with, I mean, Exorcism used, if they can fight immediately after this goes down, this would be such a great timing, or even maybe a little bit before. Abed is silenced, though. He's not going to be able to jaunt away. Does have no Blink Dagger because he blinked in aggressively. He's in further trouble, and Abed is going to go down. Really good silence by No Tail before the silence came from the puck, or I guess about the same time.
That's 2 times now that he's died back-to-back. And since he represents such a significant amount of their net worth, like that's a 1,000 gold lead change that just happens because of that death. Like 1k flat. They're going to grab this tier 2 at bottom, so you know it immediately jumps up. But if Abed wants to secure this game, he's got to be a little bit more careful than this, as top tower is going to go down. No Tail doesn't have that ultimate, and that's why DC, they want to commit for this. They've got the Blink Dagger and the lasso in 3 seconds.
They wanted to go for Jarex, but couldn't quite get him. They might be able to find a tastier target as No Tail is forward. They'll catch on the fly, and that should be more than enough. I would assume he does still have Grave TP actually, but with Malefice used, that'll be the kill.
Yeah. And now you've got a 17 minutes and 9,000 gold. BKB is coming up on Forev pretty soon. He's got his Blink Dagger ready. Level 15 talent. Once he grabs that, that's really when Enigma starts to become such a nuisance. Get that cooldown reduction. Can't really do too much. Blink Dagger's going to come any second now on Bulba as well.
Yeah, they're well set up to become even stronger, and they've been winning these fights for the most part without those big items, without those big timings on talents and such. So we need to see something big from OG, and probably the next Chrono, the next Exorcism is going to have to bear fruit.
It's not just that, like it's got to do so much. You got to have like a game-changing impact with those abilities right now. Because winning one fight and then transitioning it into nothing isn't enough, right? Like you're gonna have to grab quite a bit. As up at top though, Dubu, one step at a time. You've got to peck away at this lead. It's gonna be the first to go down. A kill is a kill at this point for OG.
Maybe just a little bit too cavalier right now, DC, and OG taking full advantage.
For sure they are right now. They weren't making these kinds of mistakes earlier, or even in the previous game, but right now, like Abed, you notice at bottom, doesn't even have his blink or his orb up quite yet, and he's walking in between.
Yeah.
And Ana might even pick him off here.
Oh no, they saw the direction, maybe they get the Yule Scepter lift up!
Just chrono him.
Alright, he's gonna do it. He catches both of his teammates in there actually, and he's gonna have phase shift, as well as an orb. Blink away in a second, possibly. Times it now.
No problem. That was a little bit closer than you'd like, but you notice that DC, like Abed, is overplaying his advantage like crazy.
Yeah.
He didn't have blink or he didn't have his blink or his orb up quite yet, and he was still walking there, gets spotted. At the same time, S4 gets noticed.
I mean, you can't really go on. If he's not careful, they need to back out again. There's a couple heroes that are rotating in. They're by a shrine.
S4's got his blink.
Thought about it. Brev is there. They found him again for the moment. Malefice keeping him back. Weave is going to keep him alive, and with that, DC don't want to overstep their bounds.
DC should just calm down a little bit. Right now, I think they're a little bit too antsy. As a team, you know you're ahead. Like, you have to know. Look at all the items that you have. You can just one-to-one compare net worth, and you'll be able to figure it out in game, but at the same time, you make mistakes like this, it's the fastest way to give up a lead.
For sure. I do like this play, you know, going in for a smoke together. Relatively speaking, Lycan is showing in the lane, or at least he was a second ago. Although Forev is now not with the rest of the team, so it's going to be Dubu and Bulba running into Fly. That's going to be a nice little pick-off for him. They should be able to finish off that kill without too much... Well, no, they've used all the stuns.
At the same time, he's... What is he going to do? He's stuck on a cliff.
Oh, yeah, he didn't have... I thought he had a TP, but... Such luck.
Yeah. They're going to shove out the waves. They probably take out this tier 2 and then go for Roshan. Okay. Probably the play order.
Forev walks forward, punches him a couple more times. They're playing it now much more safe. You can see stuck together all as a team. They're able to catch now onto the
This is a
DP.
big kill.
Epicenter out as well, but the Eul Scepter keeping them alive for the moment. Still a good bit of damage dealt. The Spirit Siphon's there,
here's
but
the
the Echo Slam turnaround. They're able to interrupt it in the black hole now down immediately canceled. Great play. Chrono onto 2. S4 starting to deal the deeps in the back. He's gonna live just barely for the moment, but Dubu finally brings him down. Ana now trying to deal with this. Bulba's just been doing the sandstorm off to the side, and another great play from Jerix. Finds the stun silence onto Puck, gets the kill. 3 dead for DC, and Bulba, the lone one left, is going to be able to try and TP
in that
out
corner.
and makes his way out of there. But my God, the play from, I think Jerix was the one that canceled that black hole there.
Yeah, he gets off everything in that fight. Just manages to clip Nigma with that. Barely gets a black hole off for even half a second. I thought that he was going to be able to survive though. Did he not grave the DP?
Dire's bottom tower is under
Maybe he did, and it just ran out. I thought for a second that No-Tail was actually going to be able to survive through all of that.
Yeah, it was really close.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like he didn't. But in any case, that was quite the fight. Although they did just lose 2 tier 2 towers before that, so you don't feel too good about that. And that's what we said, right? Is if you win a team fight but you don't get any objectives, how much did you really move the needle?
And how much as well if Ana's going to get picked off here. He gets the Lincolns broken, and we didn't see a lasso there. It looked like Batriders was on cooldown?
His Blink Dagger was.
Yeah.
And at the same time, do you really commit? If you lose another fight like that, that's when morale starts to really go down.
Yeah.
But at the same time, DC, what I was going to mention is they were getting a little bit cocky, and they still didn't have their Enigma BKB yet. If you have Enigma BKB, that is, the fight is won. Like, you're going to chrono 2 targets, like, what, nothing's going to be able to cancel it. Void was a little bit too far. Like, that's a fantastic fight for you if you're DC.
Yeah, and they are going to have that brought out to them, I'm sure, in just a couple of seconds here. Obviously won't have buyback, but not the biggest issue. So Roche is your thought, the next big objective on the map for either team.
Yeah. If you get, because Roche has always been the counter to these big cooldown abilities like Doom or Void. If you chrono somebody and he's got Aegis, does it really matter?
Yeah, doesn't at all. And DC sort of lacking the normal vision hero that they would have. They have it still in Batrider at the very least, but he doesn't want to have to like use Firefly to go check Roshan necessarily. And No-Tail is actually the one that's in here with Ana. Are they going to go check it? I have a feeling they will, as the smoke is going to be popped. They move in. Roche is not that low, only about half HP, and Forev is up there on the high ground. He jumps forward. They have that Midnight Pulse down already. The BKB's popped, but he doesn't actually have his Blink Dagger to get into range until 15 seconds until Black Hole is up and online. Dubu being slowed down by the time dilation. They drop down.
That is a lot of damage.
Lycan is there as well. Can they do it? Can they bring him down in time? They are going to kill off the Lycan, but S4 is also going to go down. I know No-Tail bringing out the grave. He is eventually going to be dropped. Oh, he got the regen! So much regen brings him back to life, and the stun now onto 2. They can't kill off this DP. Forev has Black Hole back up, but where's going to be the rest of the follow-up damage? He's getting ran down by Ana. Jerix is there as well. Finds the silence, finds the kill. 2 dead for DC, and maybe going to lose a couple more on their way out.
Oh, DC. This is not the fight that you wanted to take. On top of that, Roshan's half as well, so if they lose this fight, OG just going to march in, take that.
The plays, they come back out yet again. Jerix jumps up to the high ground, wants to find Dubu and run him down, but doesn't quite end up working out that way. So DC salvage at least these couple of heroes getting out, but that one hurt.
Yeah, and this Roshan is going to be the big one. We talked about it. It's going to be their chrono counter, but unfortunately, it should go the way of OG. They're going to orb in there. No-Tail has a little bit too much armor for them to do anything. They're all weaved up. DC, though, they recognize the importance of this. They're going to try to go in anyways.
Burrow.
Bulba going to go for it.
Now Sandstorm's still there. S4 jumps in. They've got the
jump.
They've got the catch. Abed takes it. There's a big play. They come back in. S4 has already been able to find 1. 2 are down, but you do have Enigma that's going to be coming back into this one. If OG push up high ground, they could be punished quite heavily. They found the Lycan, but can they get out with their lives? S4 in trouble. The Glimmer Cape going to keep them alive for the moment. They jump back forward. No-Tail caught. Trying to TP out of there. He jumps in. Black Hole down. Mason with the double. Make it a triple. The Grave will not save Ana this time. I do not believe, unless he was able to time dilate and keep Abed back, but the Malefice is there, catches him again, and now Ana just trying to time walk away, but the stuns continue. The Courier is down, and he can taunt all he wants. The kick away from Jerix, actually somehow saving his buddy. Oh my god, OG, just when you thought that Ana was dead, he turns out he's immortal, and then he jumps back in? That was fine.
Alright, no one's going to talk about it, but Dubu's flame break there to move them, he just parted them like the goddamn Red Sea. Abed just walks in there, claims that Aegis like it was theirs the entire time. He tries to go for the chrono.
Whoa.
OG.
OG indeed. OG.
If they lose S4 here too, he's a little bit out of no man's land. He does have that Echo.
Glimmer Cape keeping him alive yet again, but pulled back in. Going to be lassoed. Most likely going to be killed. They keep fly
really far away
as well. S4, everything in the kitchen seat to try and keep him alive, but is eventually going to be brought down. DC just too hard to deal with this point. 15,000 net worth lead, and again they jump in, not able to stop it. Echo Slam is there. Can S4 turn it all around? The BKB TP forever is gone.
They're all out of this.
Yeah, Abed dropped down very low, but does have another phase shift. He can maybe get out with the TP boots, the stun. It's not there in time. Everybody from DC gets out. They are looking scary.
And Dubu just hiding in the corner, trying to make his great escape. There's the fissure. They need this. This is a gem too. They're going to commit the Echo for this as well. Gets the Force Staff out. In 1 second he can blink, but Jerax is right there.
Oh no, poor Dubu. Well, they do get the gem now on Jerax.
Ooh, that is still... It really felt like DC was throwing this game away. Like, they took that fight without, like you said, the blink available. They popped the BKB too early on the Enigma. The Roche fight looks like it's going to go in OG's favor. But DC, they're decisive. They're like, guys, we have to go for this engagement. The timing was perfect. Bulba just blinks in. He's like, I have to go for this. Just check how low Roche is. Dubu gets that flame break off. Lifts them away from that Aegis. Abed still has it in his inventory. They open up the map now. They force buybacks. And this is definitively in DC's favor now. 13k gold lead at just 28 young minutes into this game. And Ana's, all of his item progression so far has just fallen off. He's still first in his team, but that's not saying much considering how farmed this Lycan is.
Oh, and they can taste it right now. DC, I don't know if they spotted Ana moving over, but they do have a little bit of vision here. And with Farev moving in with the black hole, he blinked aggressively off to the side. They have it available, thinking about dropping it. And indeed they are. It doesn't quite connect on Ana! Farev, what have you done? And now they got the black hole! The Chronosphere on to 2! Are they actually going to be able to do this? A silence on to 3! The stun as well! DC, what have you done? Oh, no, 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 no. The grave is there for No Tail as well. He's going to be able to get the Ewell Scepter lift up. I think he's still dead nonetheless. But that was not the play.
That was definitively not the play. S4 doesn't have that Echo. He'd love to have it. Jerax even goes in. Tries to make something happen as Abed gonna blink forward. Graves gonna be cast onto Jerax, but saves him for the time being. Is there any sort of follow-up damage? There is. And now there's no chrono. Maybe that was a crazy
next level debate.
10,000 level turnaround play that Farev did that made them use the chrono, and he's just thinking like a billion seconds ahead of us, babe.
I know, we're not prepared. That's the real reason here. I mean, to be fair, again, like, you want to get that, like, ultimate range one, so that way Dazzle can't come in and, you know, Grave or whatever. It ends up working out, DC.
That worked out, like, way better than it should have. They MacGyvered the hell out of that fight. I thought it was going to be, I was like, that black hole just, that's a game-losing black hole, and somehow it turned out okay.
Yeah. They do realize now that there's a ward up on the high ground. Unfortunately, it was about to expire anyways. But still, a nice little pickup there, and with the gem, maybe they can establish some form of map control here.
Yeah, this not losing the gem, they still have it in their possession. They were able to play hot potato with it. S4, he should be able to clear out some of the vision, which has been so key to DC being able to make these plays. But at the same time, like in terms of momentum, it's so firmly in DC's favor right now. Like we said, as long he didn't get it that time, but as long as you catch the void, there's nothing that can break your black hole.
That's true. Oh man.
I still hold by that point. That doesn't count. That one doesn't count.
Well, OG now, they're going to try and smoke up, see if they can make something happen. Chronosphere is there, as well as the Exorcism. This game has felt like it's sort of swinging wildly one way and then the other, but it's sort of been a steady decline into the favor of DC. over this period of time. And they are going to be heading across. Looks like Abed is there to break the smoke, and, well, all scouted out. He jaunts away.
Oh, that's a big one, too. They committed for this. They're even
going to grab him. Echo Slam ends up being used, but they are going to be able to break it up with the fish.
the two-man stun
there as well. Can they turn back around? Both
they really want him dead.
Oh, and Lycan, he's going to be controlled, but the black hole is down. Ana again able to dodge away from it, but No Tail is not. He is going to be caught by the grave, keeping him alive yet again. Forev in trouble. Is going to be dropped. Can they actually make this play happen, though? The silence came out just in time. It ends up interrupting the burrow strike that might have killed No Tail. DC fallen by the wayside here as they are running into all kinds of issue. Abed?
Did you see what happened? Bulba, right before his channeling epicenter ends, he blinks in. It would have been enough to kill No Tail after his Yule's ends. Oh, if he just channels that, that's potentially just the game right there.
I think he got silenced as he came down for the burrow strike as well. So like he went a little early and then also got silenced.
But if he does it, it shouldn't have mattered. The damage would have been enough.
Well, these things happen, even to the best of players.
That's going to be... And it's these little mistakes that really make you question whether DC can wrap up this game, because OG, if we calm ourselves down, or at least myself, this is still firmly winnable game for them, because Chronosphere is such an amazing ability. I mean, the only reason I'm getting hyped is because I thought that DC was going to get...
It's a hype game, man.
They were going to get caterwalloped in this game. But it did not end up happening. Like, their DC is giving them a run for their money. They've got a 13k gold lead. They just got to do well to protect it. They're going to de-ward some up in this mid area, like you talked about with this gem. And DC, they still have Black Hole up in 50 seconds. We talked about how pivotal that ability was going to be for them. But they need to execute these abilities a little bit more cleanly. Like this Black Hole, this epicenter, like these kinds of mistakes, DC, these are basic errors that they shouldn't be making. And that's why they're going to be kicking themselves. Because from a strategic point of view, they should be pretty satisfied with how they played this game. On the other side, OG, there have been some slip-ups, but the crazy thing is their lineup still allows for that wiggle room, because they have so many great abilities, right? Yeah. You've got Jarex, who's playing out of his mind. He soaked up, what, like 4 stuns by himself in that corner of the map. Normally that should be enough to be able to win you the fight. They've got Echo Slam. Anytime they get a big Echo off, that could turn the fight. Same with the Chronosphere. You're finally starting to get some farm on this Void. This Manta Diffusal build makes him incredibly strong in terms of just pure damage.
Yeah. Well, and it does really feel like there was that sort of the antsy, want to move, like we're about to win, we're about to 2-0 one of the teams that probably should have been top of the group, and you know that's putting us in such a great position, and then you know a couple of those little mistakes here and there, and now suddenly you're on the back foot. It really takes the wind out of your sails, and it feels like they're sort of reeling from it a little bit. And
yeah.
I guess next Roche is again going to be that thing that they wait for 30 seconds until it could potentially, well, it will respawn. So that's going to be the next spot for the fight. As far as vision is concerned, looks like Radiant a little bit ahead in that regard because of that gem. They have one ward down up on this high ground, scouting out Dubu. Could be a big pickoff, and they're going to try and find it. Stun down, magnetize as well. They've caught him. Can he actually play his way out of there? Jarek still trying to chase. Mason shown up. Rian applying the magnetize onto them.
This is their gem as well. They really don't want to lose this, or they're going to be playing from behind in the vision game, which is really what enables you to get back if you're OG into this game. And Abed just gonna base ship to the side as S4 guesses wrong. And now this is where OG should back out, because the Wolf is spawning them all the while. Forev should make the blink stun forward. He does.
Watching for it, trying to get it. They pull him back in. Haven't committed Black Hole. Forev back off cooldown in 2 seconds. They have a couple other here. If Forev wanted to go for it, there's definitely an opportunity. The Chrono's down, but they catch the Black Hole onto 2. Do they have the damage to follow it up? It looks like Puck not quite there as well. He was able to get the silence off from the DP, trying to burst them down now as well. There's not going to be a grave, but they do have the Yules. No Tail in some trouble. Can they actually run him down, or is the Exorcism going to tear him all to shreds? Turns around with a Spirit Siphon. No Tail is staying alive. He lands up in the biggest way possible, and now just trying to TP out, but Mason is down. 3 dead for DC. The path is clear for Roshan and maybe more.
And despite that Chronosphere not going their way, Echo Slam not even being expended, it's this Death Prophet. Her ability to just 1v4 that fight right there with Exorcism? Like, what other hero can do that? Oh, that's so brutal for DC, and I mean, OG, they played that fight so well. They just split the entire territory. They weren't able to focus this Death Prophet down. They didn't really have that much left in the gas tank. They used so much to try to kill Fly and Ana in the backline, and they weren't even able to do it. Like, this Void just does not die anymore. With the combination of the Lincolns, they don't have enough crowd control. Even with him getting hold, where's the follow-up damage?
Right.
That Chronosphere, oddly, was some weird zoning one, because nobody else could get... nobody could get through that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the puck ended up getting silenced by the DP or what, but his orb passed right over the black hole. It felt like there was an opportunity there for him to jump on it, but it must have just been either silenced or something else interrupted his ability to jaunt to it. I guess the big question for me is, does Puck, when he gets that level 25 talent going for the GPM, I mean, is that like another sort of point where they're going to be incredibly powerful by virtue of like having Dagon level 5, and then you can actually maybe blow up one of those heroes in the space of a chrono?
I don't think so. I don't know if that changes things nearly as much as like I would have believed, because you've got the 120 GPM talent on this Void, and right now Void's farm means so much more.
Right.
Like, that's what's going to be able to turn this game. And DC, I mean, they could have foreseeably had like a 20k gold lead. They're going to grip Jerax. They're not really fully committing to this. They're going to cast 2 stuns as the Chrono whiffs again.
Well, he caught the Sand King, but he's not doing any damage to follow it up, and now Forev drops down the black hole, and Mason is here as well. They need to focus this guy down, take down the Aegis. That's at least one gone. So DC back out, trading 2 for 1 there, 1 being the Aegis.
Yeah. And they still managed to kill the Bat Rider at the very least. Ana drops the gem. S4 has 1 by himself. It doesn't even feel like they're that worried about anything, as they're going to rotate a lot of heroes down there. Bulba's going to be the one to start it.
Epicenter doesn't get canceled this time. He wants the kill, wants to take down that DP, and indeed, it's going to happen. Now the rest of OG have to back out, but a big pickup there. 75 seconds does have buyback.
Yeah. And imagine if he was able to get Cheese off there. Then he just Spirit Siphons his way back. The rest of his team, maybe they make it as DC. Now they start their counter assault. Death Prophet ult down. 40 seconds. He does have the buyback like you talked about, but Death Prophet without his ult is a lot less scary. As there's a Shadow Blade on Ana. He's waiting for the opportunity. They know they don't have the gem. This could be huge as Forev gets isolated out.
Cold. There it is. He's not going to be able to get it off this time around, and he is going to drop, and they've already committed forward with a couple other heroes. Bulba going to drop as well, most likely after this Eul Scepter. Maybe he can play his way out, but with Ana on top of him, it's not going to happen. There was some split pushing going on at the same time, and now trying to catch out Mason. He's just going to BKB and TP back home. So team fight doesn't go the way they want. Surprise Shadow Blade catches him out.
And that's what I mean, that 120 GPM talent, once he picks it up, he starts getting a little bit more fat. That Shadow Blade pays for itself almost immediately, as gems start to get a little bit more scarce. If you lose another one, I mean, how does the game go? Your supports just have to sacrifice slots to start carrying around sentries? It doesn't feel too good. As Dubu does have the gem.
Oh. And they also
just a little bit too far.
Do not have buyback on these heroes. Sand King and Enigma, no buyback, and they are moving down mid. They have Exorcism up and bots on No Tail if he wants to use it.
Yeah. And he's got an Arcane Rune.
Yeah. This is a little bit scary. I think this, I mean, is this going to be a lane of Rax?
This very well potentially could be. They do have Black Hole though when he is up, and Abed right now is trying to go for the split push. This is a DD puck. He hits the tower hard. They're going to pop the glyph, and now OG is going to be in a rough decision. Like, do you continue to go for it, or do you start backing up as...
Dubu gets caught out by the Euls. There's the black hole, though. They've caught it. It's still going to be Exorcism going throughout this. And do they have the rest of the damage to burn it down? No Tail is there.
He's
going to be lifted up. They have to take him down. They are going to be able to. Exorcism
he doesn't get his cheese off.
Mark, and now Fly also in trouble. He is going to be killed off. Ana also trying to run away. He does have that extended range on the Time Walk, which might be enough to keep him alive. Yeah, I don't think Mason can keep up with him here with ulti down.
Yeah, he's easily going to make his way out.
But also bottom lane. Look at this. Already dealing damage to that Rex.
Ana is going to get out though, and I mean, tier 2 for, or tier 3 for tier 3, but at the same time you lose the Death Prophet and the Dazzle. Not entirely worth it. Although this almost 20k gold lead that DC once had, which was incredibly comfortable, is just completely slipped away from them.
And Will, now with 50 seconds left before DP, you know that Exorcism is down.
There's no buyback on him either.
Right.
This is your best opportunity to go for Mega Creeps, honestly. DC's gonna go for it here. They've gotta avoid getting chronoed. Like, they can't survive a multiple hero chrono. If there's a really good chrono, they kill like 2, you end the push, then that's really rough for DC. And then you're in the similar situation, right, where you're just marching up and down each other's base trying to force buybacks.
Right.
Alright, here we go. And it does have this...
S4 also has a Shadow Blade, so they have double Shadow Blade initiation. Waiting to step forward.
There's a gem, though, on this Bat Rider. He's looking for it. They're going to spot S4 in that corner, and they're just going to back out.
DP back up, and since it was Arcane Rune and Octarine Core, obviously, Exorcism is actually going to be online again now that he is respawned. Roshan, we are still looking like it could be 2 minutes and 27 seconds before he's even capable of respawning.
He really needs more HP, though, to be able to survive this so he can get that cheese off.
Yeah. Perfect item for that, pick up a heart.
Yeah. But you notice in both fights, like, he barely doesn't get that cheese off. If he does, the fights completely turn around. Because they have to blow so much just to kill him. Maybe after he dropped from the Yule Scepter? I'm not sure what the timing is on that. Because Abed just Dagon 5'd him.
Well, 42 minutes in, 26 to 33. It is all Tier 3 towers down currently for OG. None of them still stand. Meanwhile, DC have lost one of their own, so we might see a concerted effort to take down these shrines and stop the ability of DC to fight around that Roche area.
Yeah. And as it stands, DC, they're just resetting the map. They're pushing in all the waves. They're trying to regain themselves, their composure a little bit. Like, this game is still can go either way. I mean, we've been talking about DC a lot, but OG, they're doing a very good job playing aggressively. This Faceless Void Ana has especially stepped up his play. Like, despite some of these chronos in the early game, like, he's still 12-2 and 11. He's still doing a very good job of keeping up in farm. Like, his item progression, I think, is very good. It's like, the Shadow Blade pickup immediately paid off.
Right.
But that bottom defense, like, if he doesn't have that there, maybe they just get killed, wiped, game ends.
Bulba came out of his little hole at the wrong time, and now, well, Burrow Strike trying to get away. Yule Scepter lift up on, pulls him down, and well, it's a
they're easily going to kill him. And you need kills like that to get back in. As this 10k gold lead, of course, inflated by the fact that Puck has this insane GPM talent. So it's going to make things a little bit more more tricky than it seems. But this Void almost has a butterfly on top of everything he's already has. We talked about the difficulty in killing him. Doesn't get any easier.
Trying to look at this, they have a couple of different of these GPM talents. I feel like the 15% cooldown reduction is almost a GPM talent since Enigma had the Midas for so long. He actually looks like he sold it at some point as well.
Oh, mistakes.
Yeah.
You never want to sell that thing.
S4 walking up high ground. Dubu scouts him out with the gem, going to Firefly, jump away, and we'll see if his Blink Dagger gets cancelled. He's dodging away from that. OG can't find an opening.
Yeah, that's a correct move. You don't overextend for just a Bat Rider anymore.
It feels like this game is just like handing just right on the edge of a knife, where granted it has been a pretty significant lead for DC for a long period of time, but OG are certainly in a great position to just like run down mid if they win a big team fight.
No, for sure. And that's what we talked about is even when it was like 14k gold lead, it did feel like OG was starting to kind of make the moves necessary to come back into this game. Because DC has difficulty going high ground against a lot of these heroes. If you just go high ground without a care against an Earthshaker, you're going to get Echo Slammed, Chronoed, Death Prophet gets free reign, then the fight becomes really complicated. Because this Lycan isn't tanky enough, and you don't have save for him. If somebody gets Chronoed, they're Chronoed. You're just stuck watching from the outside in.
Yeah. Best thing you could do is like Flame Break to push back Void or something, and
yeah.
It's just...
But if you look at OG's team, even if somebody gets Bat Rider lassoed, you've got Fly with the Grave, so it considerably changes the dynamic. Plus this Dazzle somehow has a Lincoln's.
Oh my goodness, what a guy.
I mean,
Fly has never had so much farm.
He had to have just been getting gold, but still, there's something weird about that.
Yeah, for sure.
It just looks odd.
Big play could have came there. It's DC sort of all grouped up together to make a move. The top, or bottom tier 2 rather, tower fell down in the meantime by virtue of the Ana illusions, but it looks like they're going to back out again. The other thing is AC done for the Lycan, so another way to help mitigate that damage coming in from a DP ulti.
Still, I don't... You get chronoed. Still die.
Well, the illusion certainly died.
Oh, that... Okay, so they're going to see that chrono and think to themselves, like, guys, go for something.
They're going immediately. This is S4 in a hell of a lot of trouble. My god, the damage is real with that Dagon. And, well, DC, go take Roshan. It's time to end the game, maybe.
I don't know if that's going to be enough to enable that.
Okay.
Maybe you can siege a little bit, because you know that chrono's down, and you can at least force the S4 buyback. Probably the bigger thing is the chrono down. They're going to read that situation and say, chrono's down, let's go for something. Doesn't look like OG just want to give this up for free though, no tail. Gonna just march right in.
Alright, Earthshaker buyback. There's the epicenter already at the start. It's down. Black Hole is there. There is a grave to try and keep him alive for the moment. The Yule Scepter able to lift him up to keep him alive. Now, at the meantime, off to the side, they already take down the Dazzle, able to roll away as Jarek's keeping himself alive, but another big Burrow Strike comes forward, but S4 with the Echo Slam turned it in a big old way. It takes down both the Lycan and the Batrider. If they can somehow manage to get out with the rest of these heroes, OG with a huge comeback, making these plays, and it might end up being more, because there's no buyback on the Lycan or the Batrider. Oh my god, and the Yule Scepter lift up, Puck in trouble as well. Abed is going to fall most likely. They pull him down, they take him down. OG DotA.
Don't even need the Chronosphere. All it takes is for this Death Prophet. I think he popped the cheese. That's what it had to have been. He pops the cheese at the last second, immediately gets the full HP, and DC's like, oh, this isn't what we had planned.
And now Roshan for them as well. Huge moments.
Yeah, No Tail's been such a beast for them in this game so far. He's got the plus 600 HP talent as well, that level 25, very fortuitous for him. And again, just gets graved during that black hole, uses himself as soon as he drops down to the ground, immediately pops that cheese, turns that fight around for his team. I feel like they should all just be going down right now for this. And it goes back for that DD rune, but you've got a while before anybody's alive.
I mean, it was also S4 buying back, and he hit a pretty big Echo Slam there to all those stuff. But yeah, hitting the tower now, or barracks rather. Obviously, if you're DC, you don't want to buy back. Do you think you have to if you're Puck?
This probably isn't worth it, because you're not going to get Mega Creeped no matter what. You're only going to get 2 sets of Rex right here.
Jump forward, they pop the Linkage there onto Ana, pull him back in now, in some trouble. Jarex gets the lift up. There's no going to be a black hole, at least for the moment, but they can come back in now. BKB is available. They're not wanting to drop it yet. No Tail's doing a ton of damage to Dubu, and Ana's just able to jump back out again. So they're going to lose Dubu. A Burrow Strike again through from Bulba. The black hole's down, but it doesn't catch No Tail. They're going to be able to keep alive Ana. He time walks off a ton of the damage. DC crumbling at this late stage of the game. They buy back on the Batrider. They got to pull No Tail back into the base, but everybody's buying back 4 from DC. Can they get anything from this? They have to take down No Tail. It's too big of an expense not to find this kill, and the Spirits come back in. It doesn't look like it's going to matter. He is still eventually going to be dropped, most likely. Jarek's there as well. Well, actually ends up craving and cheesing, and he comes back to full HP again. The epicenter is there, but Jarek's isn't going down either.
Nobody is dying in this fight. Jarek's might finally go down. Fissure comes in a little bit too late as they don't even get fly here. He just TP's out. No Tail casually just walked away. Doesn't have any care in the world.
What has happened?
They just can't kill this Death Prophet anymore. DC had such a considerable lead in this game. I mean, this graph looks insane.
20,000 net worth roughly exchanged over the past maybe couple of minutes. They're gonna again try and go into No Tail. He is so tanky right now. They get the Hex on him. The chase, it's still coming. Spirit Siphon, a ridiculous amount of heal. In the meantime, Mason goes down by virtue of Ana. They managed to find the grave yet again. S4 there trying to turn it back around.
Kill him this time at least.
They don't have the black hole for another 18 seconds, but they will kill off No Tail.
Yeah, and Jarex is going to buy back.
Ana, now, look at him! Gets the BKB off, but to no avail. They're also going to run down the Sand King yet again. Saves one more rock, gets the stun, another one down, no buyback. Lycan or Sand King.
That might just be the game. I think OG is just going to march down for this. They don't really care about getting Mega Creeps and they can just end the game. They know that so many buybacks have been expended on the side of DC. This Batrider alone can't really do much. They're going to start marching down. I think Death Prophet, once they get closer to the base, just buys back 2, and they just go for the game.
Well, 38 to 38, but it's been a hell of a swing back into the favor of OG. 52 minutes in, and like you said, they just never had an answer. Well, they did at various points have answers for the DP, but not when it came down to the end of the game.
Yeah, Forev is going to buy back. Still 2 heroes without buyback. It looks like No-Tail doesn't, in fact, want to commit that buyback. Doesn't want to go for any sort of crazy throws. OG just making their way long ways around. Is Anna going to snipe off? Nope. Doesn't quite commit for that either.
They'll send an illusion in, I'm sure.
Yeah. Is there any hero with buyback on the side of DC anymore? That is... Nope.
No.
Dire's top shrine is under
So any sort of lost fight, like any hero's lost at all, if OG have the numbers advantage, they just march down.
Dire's top shrine has
Well, if there was ever a time and a place for a big black hole, it's now for DC, or at least, you know, once everybody gets back up and online. It's certainly in the realm of possibility. But what are those steps that you need to take now for DC? Is it just only, like, hope for a big misplay? Do you even have to, like, give up mega creeps to make sure?
So the biggest thing is they are getting black holes off, but they just get graved.
Right.
Like this Faceless Void gets black holed and then he gets graved and then he just time walks to his full HP, and so much for that black hole. Same with No-Tail. Like, he just heals so much from this Octarine Core Spirit Siphon.
Dire's middle
But you've got to do something. Can't just give up
Dire's top
mega
tower
creeps.
is under
DC, I'm not sure. They're gonna have to have a multiple man black hole. So far they've had like 3 max. Somehow Forev needs to get 4, and hope that Fly's not included in that.
Oh, Ana is just too big, and Sand King's going to get caught. They have the black hole onto 2, keeping Bobo alive for the moment, but he is eventually going to be brought
Where's the
down.
damage?
Nonetheless, No-Tail taking a good bit of it, but the Yule Scepter is going to lift him up, and he is going to actually eventually fall. They kill off No-Tail. Okay, 100 seconds with no Death Prophet. S4 now also going to start to get ran down. Ana is trying to make his way out of there, but with the orb going forward, they thought about chasing, but hold off for the moment, showing a little bit of patience.
Yeah. And they don't have this Enigma black hole for 76 seconds. There's no Lycan ultimate either, although that should be refreshing pretty soon. But Jarex is going to roll really aggressively forward, goes for the kick, stone forms that Lycan out of his base.
Oh, Mason, nowhere left to go. He doesn't have BKB for another 8 seconds either, and unfortunately, Black Hole on cooldown. No way to save Mason. Echo Slam, turn around. S4 knows how to finish off these games, and GG is going to get called as OG pull it back from the clutches of defeat and take down DC after being down almost 20,000 net worth this, or boy, 15,000.
OG is so resilient. That is absurd that they won this game. They are so resilient. I could imagine most teams would just say, okay guys, like this is getting out of hand, like maybe we should call it, it's going to be a long 4-day group stage, like let's move on. But they're like, nope, we're going to continue to play this out. Guys, we're making mistakes here and there. But DC, I mean, they made some...
Into this, OG almost guaranteed to get like top 4 or even higher, some people think. And on the other side, it's Digital Chaos, who have I think a lot of like local favorites, if you will, of this region. Talk to me about it. What is it that you see in DC that you're liking right now?
Do they have local favorites? Like,
I don't know. You like Boba, don't
they've
you?
got 2 Koreans, Abed, who not many people know a lot about because he doesn't stream or anything. And they have Mason, who has had a tumultuous history with
Why are you flaming DC
And then there's
right
Bobo,
now?
who I think everyone
And as it
everyone
stands,
in the
DC,
community has ragged on at
they're
some
just
point or
resetting
another,
the map. They're pushing in all
and
the
like
waves.
openly laughs
They're
at.
trying to
They're too
So they're kind of like the scrappy.
and they have Mason.
They're like the Mighty
who-
Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks.
No, they're the has a
they're not-
tumultuous history with because the Mighty Ducks become champions. They're like the
Jesus.
they're like the bad news bears.
The Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are you flaming? I mean, we'll have to see. I'm down to quack, quack, quack through this game if they end up taking it. Granted, of course, OG also incredibly well-known team. You're saying that they're not favorites on DCs. I would certainly say that OGs have some fan favorites there. But this is something that we saw from DC in the first series that I watched and casted of theirs. Silencer Batrider is an opening. Obviously, tried and true combination for initiation, but they also were running a lot in Southeast Asia leading up to this. Do you think that that's something that's sort of still viable? Do you like that?
Has
that
ragged
style
on
of
at
play?
some point or
resetting the
another.
map.
I mean, I
They're
think
pushing
Batrider
out
right now is
open-
a really good hero. As a
The
silencer, Bad News
you can
Bears.
see that
The Bad News
TNC really
Bears.
valued that hero. Another. It's been like 10 straight nerfs. But the thing that this hero provides is, no matter what, you should be able to win team fights with this hero. And with the combination of Silencer, I mean, think about
Bad
it.
News
TNC
Bears.
really
You
valued
blink
that
in,
hero.
you
You grip somebody, Silencer pops his global. That should, in theory, be a team fight one. Every single time.
It's been like
and Batrider is
10
also one of those
straight
heroes
nerfs.
that, but
Even
the
if
thing
it's
that this
4v5,
hero provides,
the high ground
is
never feels great.
no matter what,
Because
you should be able to win team fights.
there was a
with this
game we
hero.
played,
and with at Galaxy Battles against Infamous.
combination of Silencer.
And I mean, think about
Bad
it.
News
TNC
Bears.
they let
Really
blink
value
in.
that hero.
You
They
grip
let the
somebody,
coaches stay in the
Silencer
room as
pops
long
his
as you didn't
global.
say anything. Of
That
course,
is
there's a-
that should in
there's a guy
theory
in there,
be
like an admin.
a team fight.
But
But I got to listen to the team comms
Every
and
single
there was
time.
one time
And
where
Batrider is
Bat
also
News
one of
Bears
those
heroes that
don't
but
go
even
high
if it's
ground.
4v5,
This hero
provides
it's
high ground
but
never feels great.
Side lanes,
Yeah.
and there's a second on the second Roshan there's Cheese, but yeah, maybe a little bit more difficult to do that against him. We'll see if they double down upon that as well. In the last game they ended up taking a life stealer with it as well, if I'm not mistaken, DC, which was like just the uber initiation. Unfortunately LGD proved to be too much for them. On the other side of the coin though, it's going to be
Side
OG
lane.
taking a
Was it
Slardar and Coddle.
Was it LGD? I thought they
LGD
played-
versus DC.
I thought it was
wait, no,
VP.
switching that up. It was Fnatic versus
Yeah.
LGD.
And
There's so
VP.
many games.